what does this have to do with BMF? Well, okay, here we go. So Edins grew up in Detroit. The deceased Mr. Edins grew up in Detroit, played football at Crockett High School, Detroit Public Schools. And he went on, he was like all city, went on to play for Ball State, I think in Ohio. Got drafted, he played for the Bills for one game, Buffalo Bills. Then he went into the Canadian Football League, played for a couple of years. And in 2014, his football career ends. And apparently, you know, this happens with a lot of people to get a taste of the money from entertainment or sports, and then it's gone. You know, that lifestyle goes from 100 to 0. And the easiest way to get back into money flowing is dope. But selling dope, it's like learning a trade. It's like being a carpenter or anything else. Trust me. If you didn't grow up around that type of, like, not just in a neighborhood where there's someone on the corner doing it, but I'm talking about in your household, and you didn't come up selling little drugs, then a little more, and you're around it, and you know how it goes. It's easy to get in way over your head.
We're near the corner of Hessel and Pearson on the city's west side, and just take a look. You can see this area is completely blocked off. Police are out here still investigating. If we look and go down this way, you can see that the door is open. That's where this double homicide took place.
So this guy, Michael Griffin, is best friends, whatever that means, with this former NFL player from Detroit, Robert Edins. Griffin's from Detroit too. He was living in Birmingham, Alabama. They meet a Mexican, Mariano Lozoya Garcia. I don't know if he was part of the cartel or what. He's giving them 10 bricks at a time. They're splitting it in half. Griffin is selling his in Birmingham, and Edins is bringing his back up to Detroit. This goes on probably less than 2 years. I don't know how many loads they got. You can see here from the federal documents. Also in this federal document, a picture I'm not going to show. It's of the crime scene, and it's of Mr. Edins laying on the ground with a pillow over his head in the basement. And he still has on the same clothes he had on with this surveillance photo from Best Buy, where he went with his best friend, Michael Griffin, just like an hour before he was. And while they were at Best Buy, guess who was back at this little house that Mr. Edins inherited from his grandmother on one of Detroit's lovely streets, the 7900 block of Pearson, which is Burt Road near Tyre. Ricardo Slick McFarland was back at this house, and he was cuffed up. And while Edin was at Best Buy with the so-called friend, some other guys that Michael Griffin had Rico McFarland cuffed up, and he, in the crime scene photo, they're both on the ground. Deceased Rico McFarland had been friends with Marlon Welch, who was the son of Tanisha, Southwest T's wife or common law wife. I don't know. She's the one she's been interviewed on First Ladies of BMF and all that, Tanisha Welch. I think she was indicted as well. She did some time. I think her son did some time, but Rico, I think the way he was involved with BMF, he was friends with her son, Southwest T's stepson. He was only 22 when he got like about a 10-year sentence for his involvement in BMF. So I don't know how many years of the good life he lived, but then he went and did 10 years. And Mr. McFarland had only been out of federal prison for 10 weeks. How he knew Edin was just his friend. I think they're around the same age. Did Edin enlist McFarland because he just got out and he was like, oh, you're in BMF and you must have customer. Who knows? There's nothing about that in the federal report. And it's really irrelevant because Mr. McFarland is a victim of a homicide. He wasn't under investigation for any drug dealing. Feds didn't see fit to talk about what they thought the two of them were doing together because it really doesn't matter. But Michael Griffin and Edins and this Mexican had a ongoing interstate conspiracy. So Edin couldn't pay his tab, and his so-called friend comes up north with another guy he got from Mississippi. They're on the phone with the Mexican, and they're exchanging texts about something about they'll bring all the money in. Probably Edin gave his bricks to somebody who wasn't paying him. Maybe he asked McFarland to help him collect the money or something. McFarland clearly didn't know what he was getting into because they both ended up deceased. And this guy, Michael Griffin, what a bad person. So this particular case, if you are thinking about interstate narcotics trafficking, this will make you think twice. I don't know, I guess Griffin must have been so scared of the Mexican. But of course, if you and your friend owe money to someone dangerous, the two of you are supposed to go to war with them. Not you kill him. He just wanted to keep the dope coming. Because just the way he got caught a few weeks later, they pull him over in Louisiana, and they had a kilo of H. Well, they thought they had a kilo of H. They get booked in for that. Turns out that was fake. Now, whether they were about to use that to cut, or that the Mexican had given them something fake, or they were trying, I wouldn't be surprised if he was still trying to pay off his ticket to the Mexican by selling somebody a fake brick of H. No idea. But at that point, the case unravels. The guy from Mississippi and Griffin are both sentenced. Now, in the newspaper stuff you'll read, and in the federal press release, it talks about them getting, well, there's no murder charges. There's some weird charge of interstate travel to kill and drug trafficking, but there's no murder charge. And it talks about them getting 30 years, or it sounds like they're getting 30 years, and Michael D'Angelo Griffin, as you can see here, he ain't getting out till 2044. He's sentenced out of Alabama, Birmingham. That's where they took the case to. So it sounds like he got sentenced for the conspiracy starting out of Alabama, not for any crime that occurred in Detroit. So 2 young guys killed in this house in Detroit, and while the people that did it are getting a bunch of time, well, some of them, there's no actual charges for them taking these 2 guys' life. So life is cheap out on the mean streets of the big city. Mr. McFarland was living good in the BMF days, and he had to pay for it with 10 years, and then he was only out 10 weeks, which is sad. As far as the Mexican, I don't think he's been sentenced yet.